the anime review top 100 animes of all time. We're at number 68, and this one's probably gonna be the longest one because this anime is really fucking long. Okay, so let's start off on why it's better. Well, first off, the music's good. The initial D is the anime that's at number 68. It's about street racing, which street racing is only at night, and it's pretty much about learning how to drift and using the gutters to cheat, so that way you can turn better. This anime will make you learn. This anime will make you, this, that, and the other thing. The Takami is the main character. He is the main character throughout the thing. He gets a girlfriend. They break up because she's seeing an older guy. But he finds out. He finds out unknowingly because she didn't tell him. And when he tells her that he found out, she breaks up with the older man because the high school student is dating a 40-year-old man pretty much. She breaks up with him to date with Takami, and she fucked up because he realized that he was seeing him because they came out of a restaurant together, and he assumed that. And then in the third stage, they patch things up, and then she goes off to college on the fourth stage. The fourth stage is just racing from beginning to end. Um, and then the fifth stage, she slaps the shit out of him because he doesn't even remember her, and that pisses me off. And then the final stage, apparently they're back together again, so whatever. I don't understand the concept of that, but it's a love story between the two characters. It's the female with Takami. Takami's friends. To be honest with you, Takami's friends are really really interesting. First off, they don't really race. It's just Takami who's racing. He races an 8.6, okay? He races an 8.6, which is good. He races an 8.6, which is a rally car. He beats on the first stage, he beats a F5, a muscle car called a GTR, which you'll learn about fucking cars if you watch this anime. I guarantee you that. Then after he beats the muscle car because he decides to drive like a fucking maniac. He really does. He races against his buddy, which they hate each other. He races him, which is kind of fucking funny because he races him by having his hand duct taped to the fucking wheel. Why would you do that? Are these fucking street racers like fucking nuts? I mean, seriously, it's called a duct tape death match. Pretty much, you're supposed to steer with your hands duct taped to the fucking wheel, and then you're supposed to race while the hand is duct taped to the fucking wheel. Why would you fucking do that? First off, and then he races against the guy who's plotting the seeds and trying to beat him, but he loses instantly. After that, stage 2 hits. Stage 2 is where they break up because he finds out and this, that, and the other thing. He races, he blows up his 8.6's engine, which is kind of fucking funny. And then his dad likes to spoil him because he decides to give him an engine for a race. He gives him a race car engine, why would you put a rally car with a race car engine just for like to go fast? He finds out he gets help from a guy who also has an 8.6, but he has turbos in his car. So he puts turbos in his car, and this is where it gets a little interesting. They have a race. Takami wins, of course, and then stage 3 hits. Then stage 4 hits. I'll get to stage 3 when I get a chance. Stage 4 is where Takami and the guy who he beat with the F5 and the last guy that he beat on the first stage decide to become teammates on the street race. It's called Project D. Project D is where they try to beat a bunch of racers and beat their times. Here's the thing. In this stage, Takami decides to go even more nuts by driving with his headlights off. First off, you never fucking do that. Why the fuck are you fucking nuts? Why would you not do that? That makes no fucking sense. But it's badass too because he's driving with his headlights off. He does that twice. Well, technically 3 times. He does it with a guy who can drive with one arm on the steering wheel at all times, and he's doing it pretty fastly. He does it against a guy guy who drives race cars for a living, and then you got the guy who he does it when it's raining out. That's more dangerous than everything else. Don't try this at home. You will definitely go side of the mountain because that's what happens. Okay, now then, on the first stage, he does face off against two female characters. I'm mentioning this now because they have an OVA, which I need to get to at some point, of their side plot energy. It's pretty much his friend dates this girl. He stood her up, and then they started to like mix up and this, that, and the other. I don't know what happened to that plot summary, but they don't have a girlfriend. Also, the fact that that's pretty much the plot of it. I'm not mentioning stage 5 or the final stage because that's in Japanese, and because English dub, when it stops doing English dub, I stop watching it entirely. I just do the whole product of English dub. If it doesn't have English dub, I will watch the whole thing in sub, so that way I can know what the hell is going on, as you may have guessed. But here's the thing with Initial D. The music is phenomenal. I love the music. It's fucking awesome. Deja Vu and fucking Running in the 90s was a good touch because this anime is technically like three. It's been around for 3 decades. I don't know if they're still making more movies with Initial D, but the running time of the full entire series was in 1999 to 2011, I believe. You can roast me in the comment section down below if that's not right, but that's what my opinion is. With that being said, though, the other issue I have with this anime, though, now we're getting into the why it's not higher up. Because I praised it from this beyond ending, from the beginning to end. This anime is fucking good, but here's the why it doesn't go higher up. Because with all that being said, that I've said positive stuff about it, I would have considered putting this at number two, at least in the top 10, because I love this is like one of the only animes that I go back to watch every now and again. That's really hard for me because when I'm done watching an anime, I stop watching it. Unless it's Higurashi, I don't want to watch fucking horror anime shit and stuff like that. But that digress. Initial D has its issues. First off, the episode length. The first season has 26, I believe. The second season has 14, and the stage 4 has 24. Stage 5 has 14, and the final stage has 4 episodes. My main issue with this anime is stage 3. Stage 3 is the most problematic, probably the most thing why this anime is not higher on the list. Because it goes to stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, and so on and so forth. Stage 3 is a fucking movie. And the whole movie is not about him drifting. It's pretty much the Christmas episode, because every anime needs to have a Christmas episode. You have to have a Christmas episode and a beach episode. This anime does both in the first season, but no, beach episodes in the first season of stage 1. Problem is, though, is the fact that it's pretty much his girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend, tries to make up with him, but she's working at a job now, so she can make better choices in her life, so that way she doesn't make the same mistake twice. The problem is the fact that she fucks up in stage 2. Stage 3 is when they make up, and then she goes off to college. Stage 5 is when she comes back, and then the main character doesn't remember her, so he gets pissed off. She slaps the shit out of him, and so on and so forth. Then they make up on stage 5. I haven't watched stage 5 because of the reasons. That's the other only issue I have with the stages. It makes no fucking sense. Why the fuck do you have this character do this, that, and the other thing? The other thing I hate about this anime, and it's really, really jarring to me, is his buddies. His friends, the side characters. One side character drives an 8.5, his friend drives an 8.5, which is an older model. older model of an 8.6, and the car slides better. You can tell because they explain how both cars are slightly different. The 8.5 slides a lot more because of the grip of the tires or something. I don't know. But you'll learn about cars if you watch this anime. Um, the thing is the problem with this anime, and it's really jarring to me, is because of the fact that this anime, he doesn't really race. He races once and he gets in a car crash. That's the main reason why the main character fights the guy that wants to do a duct tape death match because he crashes his car because of him. He also lost his girlfriend because she was in the car when this happened. That's the thing of that character. He doesn't get a girlfriend, which is kind of sad, really. But he doesn't race, and his other two friends just hang out and work at the fucking gas station. That's what I don't understand. Why the fuck would you work at a fucking gas station? A gas station. Maybe it's because they both have cars, but they never race. I mean, the guy who gets injured because tells he tells he tells the main character to um to go race for him because he gets into a car accident and he's bunged up. So he asks his dad because it's his dad's car. His dad owns a tofu shop and he makes him drive. Thing is the fact that the main character has drove the car for 5 years before he even got his license. So that's pretty fucking funny. The other thing I would like to explain to this anime that makes no fucking sense. His dad. His dad gets a new car in stage 4, I believe, and he drives. He beats his son, which is kind of obvious because he's got more experience with driving. But the thing is, I don't quite understand the main problem with this anime. It just, how do I put this? I feel like some characters don't have a plot summary because there's also another character that it's the guy who works at the gas station that he is their boss, and he's trying to push them to drive better as fast as possible. But here's the thing: I don't quite get that the main side characters don't do shit in the whole anime. They're just there, and it's even worse. It's even worse when you have. It's even worse on stage 3 and 4. Stage 2, they're at least somewhat relevant in the beginning, anyway, and then at the very end of it, they're just not existent. There's a side plot where they work at the gas station to better their cars, but that's beside the point. With that being said, what do I think about the anime as a whole is the fact that it has its issues because of the fact that I don't understand what they were thinking when they made the side characters, and the fact that I'm so enraged. Also, the other main reason why I consider this anime bad is because stage 4 is when they stopped the English dub. Why? You already established that it was a good anime. That's why you English dubbed it 4 times. But you didn't English dub the 5th stage or the final stage. I kind of understand because those stages were like later in the late 2000s. But seriously, I need some conclusion. I need closure when it comes to that anime. That being said, though, I have to say that this anime deserves to be on the list, but it doesn't deserve in the top 10 because of those issues. The other thing I like to say that Initial D does make you want to jam out to its music. I'll tell you that much. Deja Vu is like it's the most well known meme when it comes to drifting. I'll tell you that much. But that's what my opinion is. And also, Running in the 90s is one of its songs in the first season. The second season, third season. For the second stage, fourth stage, fifth stage, and final stage have different songs. Only Running in the 90s is in the first one because of that reason. Other than that, I will have to say that the only characters that really matter are the guy who drives the FD, F5, the 8.6, his buddy who beat the guy who the main character, the 8.6 beats when it's raining out, and the guy who drives the F5's brother, because he's the one who makes Project D. Other than that, though, there's nothing really good about it. I mean, the only problem I have with it is the other reason I don't understand is that the first season he drives against these two chicks. Once he beats them, there's one filler episode with them, and then then at the last episode they show up in the mountains, seeing the last race between the guy who's trying to plot to beat the 86 and the guy who drives the 86. And then then they have two OVAs, and then they're just gone. They're nowhere to be seen. I don't understand the concept of that. It feels like the only characters that show up after they race the 86 are the guy who drives the F5 because he's one of the main characters. The last guy he beats on stage 1, and then the guy he beats when it's raining outside. Those are the only 4 characters that you need to know. And also the guy who's doing the walkie-talkie. That guy's cool too. But he's not really in the plot of things. After stage 2, the guy who's plotting his revenge on the guy who the 86 beats at the last race, he wants to beat him. And he's in stage 3, stage 2, and stage 4. I don't know if he's in stage 5 though. But he's also an established character. The guy who drives the other 86 shows up. He beats him, and the guy the main character races against a guy who has an 86 with a turbo. I've already established that. Thing is the fact that when he races the guy with the turbo, how do I put this? When he races against the guy with the turbo, he beats him, and then the guy with the guy with 86 that has the turbo, he races against the F5, but he loses off screen. That's another issue I have with him, is the fact that you establish that this character is important, but you don't really establish that he's not there anymore. There's also a side plot that the main character's friend who drives the 85 has a crush on his sister, and this, that, and the other thing. The plot, it doesn't go anywhere, I'll tell you that much. But that's what my opinion is. I hope you guys have a nice, positive day. Take care. This is probably going to be the longest one so far because I had a lot to say about this anime because there's almost a total of 75 episodes. Well, let me see. 24 plus 26, that's 50 right there. And then you got 14 episodes beyond that. So that is 64. And then you've got another extra, if you want to go with sub route, you've got another 14 episodes, so that's 78. And then you got 4 more, which is 82. So there's 82 episodes, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, between 4 and 5 movies too. So stay positive, everyone, and I hope you have a nice, positive day. It's going to be a long anime, I'll tell you that much. It's probably the longest anime that's on this list, to be honest with you. A lot of long animes. Most of the animes that are on this list are like 26 or below. So yeah, stay positive, everyone. I hope you have a nice, positive day. Initial D, number 68. Oh my god. Next up is 67. I don't know what the hell is going to be at number 67, but I'll tell you this much. We're getting close to the anime that I'm going to be regretting putting it on the list, but I put it on the list for a reason. So stay positive.